Hi, I'm Elaine. This is Elena's XYZ. Enjoying a really rainy day here in Miaoli County, Taiwan. It's now 2020 and I spent the year crossover here in Taipei, Taiwan. So as part of an initiative this year, as part of a resolution to do these videos with a little more timeliness, I am going to make my first one about Taiwan. Now, to be honest, I'm not really actually here for traveling. I'm here to see family, and so my trip here in Taiwan has been like banquet lunch, followed by banquet dinner, followed by something called 宵夜, which is a lot of food late at night, followed by a banquet lunch the next day. Asian kids, you know what I'm talking about. I am really full. But on the way back from eating too much, I came across a really cute place called Shenxing Railway, and it's not really on the radar for international travelers, so I figured what a great chance to show it off to you guys. Shenxing is a tiny little town located in the Sanyi Township in Miaoli County, which is about a 35-minute drive from Taichung. And while I'm sure it's super fun in the sun, the day that I went there was quite soggy. But, and I think more travel guides should talk about this, it was a location that could stand the inclement weather.
And in fact, the rain actually gave it its own special sheen of silky charisma.
So back in 1905, Taiwan was under Japanese occupation, and the Japanese were busy building railroads crisscrossing the entire country so that the wealth of Taiwan could then easily be exported back to Japan. Shenxing Railway had the honor of being the highest railroad that they built, standing 402 meters above sea level. It started out as a freight service and then became public transportation for most of its lifespan until 1998 when it was closed and a newer, more modern line was finally put in. That's like 100 years later. That's not too bad for a lifespan of a railroad.
Now it functions entirely as a tourist area, mostly for locals who want to bathe in the charm of Meiji-era Japanese architecture and eat delicious Hakka cuisine.
Glad you asked. If you've ever come across tourism material about China, you've probably seen these super distinctive houses before.
Including somewhat anachronistically and suspect geographically in the new live-action Mulan trailer.
Those are some of the traditional houses of the Hakka people, a Han Chinese subgroup that is known for two things. One, being ready to migrate to just about anywhere in the world. Two, being very discriminated against because usually they were the new guys in whatever part of the world they migrated to. Usually, wherever they went already had occupants that had taken over the more easy to farm lands, and so, for instance, here in Taiwan, the Hakka people mostly went up into the mountains. Miaoli County, which is mostly mountain, is about 60% Hakka. In any case, even though they are considered technically ethnically Han, they have their own distinctive style of dress, their own distinctive language, their own customs, and their own types of food. Which means one of the great ways to enjoy the area is to sandwich the main activity, which I'll get to later, between two opportunities to try some Hakka food. And here is some of the stuff that you should try.
Lei cha, also known as thunder tea or ground rice tea. Its look can be as varied as the many places that the Hakka ended up, But here are some constants. There's some sort of rice involved, there's some sort of tea involved, there's a mix of other ingredients, in our case, various types of nuts, and you've got to spend some time mixing and grinding it all up. For more substantial eats, there's literally a restaurant every building in the 1 square kilometer or so that the town of Shengxing occupies. We ended up going to one called勝興車站, which is apparently famous for being one of the first restaurants to settle the area. Here's 4 dishes to get a real taste of Hakka flavor. 梅干菜扣肉, pork belly smothered in a sauce made with a fermented bean paste. 白玉三宝, stewed winter melon, daikon radish, and cabbage that happened to be sitting on top of a stewed pork. Taiwanese Hakka really love their pork, apparently. Here's something super local to the region, 过猫, or passing cat. I have no idea why it's called passing cat, but it's basically cooked mountain ferns. And 板条, a specifically Hakka noodle made out of rice and mixed with starch to keep it longer. The last 2 dishes are especially indicative of the Hakka spirit, people who make do with what they have wherever they've ended up, frugal, industrious, persevering. But that's enough about food!
Now, the main attraction of this tiny little town is actually to ride on the rail itself.
The Old Mountain Line rail bike is a 90-minute or so ride through the scenery of Miaoli County on the former mountain line. You have to book through their website beforehand. Luckily for you guys, they have a pretty decently readable English version. Choose from 3 different routes, basically all of them are on the same line, C is just shorter. Find a date and time that still has seats. Acknowledge all their ticket buying rules, and then... Well, obviously I'm not actually going to buy one right now, but now you know how to do it yourself. And then it's off on the train, which takes you through the line's old tunnels, beautiful mountainscapes, and to the remains of Longton Bridge, which was turned into a very picturesque ruin by an earthquake in 1935. The train car has pedals, but apparently that's just for if the train somehow runs out of juice. We got nowhere near to running down the battery while we were on it.
If you want to see what the area looks like when it's actually sunny, there are so many videos of it up on YouTube. I can link to some of the ones that I liked below. But hey, I got caught in the rain and it was still absolutely lovely. And considering how much it rains in Taiwan, it's actually quite nice to know where's worth going, even if it's on the wetter side. If you found this useful, please like and subscribe. You can find me off of YouTube on my Instagram and website. And see you next time doing whatever it is I happen to be doing.